Good morning to the world. I bet you thought I forgot all about Victoria 3, huh? Well, no. I have not left Victoria 3 behind. I will still be making content for it for as long as it gets updated by Paradox. Today, though, we're going to be talking about one of my personal favorite flavored companies, the Duro y Compania. Boom. But before we begin, I'd like to ask everybody to like and subscribe so the algorithm will actually bless this video with its grace. At the same time, I'd also like to thank each and every one of my Patreon and premium supporters. You are all kings. Now, let's get into the video. Okay, starting off, we're going to be talking about the lovely buildings. Meaning, we're going to be talking about the fact that Duro y Compania might actually be one of the easiest countries to make ultra profitable because it has iron, steel, wood, and coal. Believe it or not, the iron mines in particular will be an absolute boon throughout the entire game. It is a nice company to do the buildings at an exponential rate, especially with the throughput bonuses, especially with the building bonuses. You don't want to do it yourself, you want the company to do it for you. It's nice to have it. That's why people like the mineral mining so much. That's why they like the metal mining so much. There are so many times that you're going to want to have iron mines covered. And this, my friends, is a great way to do it. Another one that is actually very amazing is the fact that coal mines are super profitable without any effort. Coal will always be needed from the beginning until the end of the game. There is not going to be a point where you're going to have coal super duper cheap. Even if you do have coal super duper cheap, you're going to end up trading it away because other countries always need coal. Coal is always profitable. The next one on the list is obviously going to be steel mills. Now, steel mills are inexplicably profitable throughout most of the game, even when you do everything in your power to make steel as cheap as possible. I have had steel at minus 50%, and yet it is still profitable. Maybe when I'm taking Duro y Compania, the reason why is because I actually have the inputs for steel to be ultra cheap as well, because when I get steel to minus 50%, that usually means I have iron and coal really cheap. So Duro y Compania, it works together. You can get everything super duper cheap at this point, and yet you can still make bank. Now, wood, the logging camps, I'm sorry guys, it loses its value in the mid game. The moment you swap off to steel construction, wood just tanks, and all of a sudden you go from, I don't know, plus 10% wood to minus 70% wood. But thankfully, it quickly does become ultra profitable due to scarcity in the late game. There is not enough wood in this game. I don't get it. There's not even that many inputs for wood, yet there's just never enough wood in this game. I don't get it. I can't explain it. I think it has something to do with the fact that everybody's building so much furniture at that point. But again, it's not as important as, say, rubber or oil, but it is still useful to have the throughput bonuses so you don't end up having a shortage just from your furniture factories alone. Okay, now here we go. We're going to be talking about the very interesting prestige good that Duro y Compania gets. It is the lovely refined steel. Now, thankfully, when it comes to the Duro y Compania, you can actually keep the inputs for the refined steel particularly low, which means you can keep refined steel particularly low to make up for the fact that it does actually make your construction more expensive for no real, true, tangible benefit. However, people are ignoring the fact that refined steel is used in other industries that are exceptionally powerful. Motors, for one, are a big industry that uses steel, and another one that you probably aren't thinking of are tools and automobiles. Believe me, refined steel is better than what people think it is. It does help. It just isn't perfect, like, say, precision goods or precision tools. That one is obviously the best one. Refined steel is not that bad, though. I would probably put it in, like, top 10. I mean, considering you're getting it with the Duro y Compania and you're not really taking Duro y Compania for refined steel, it's a nice bonus to have. It's not bad to have. You're going to enjoy it. You're going to love having it because it improves the amount that you can trade for. It does add up over time, and it is definitely useful as a result of that. So no, I don't say refined steel is bad. I say refined steel is bad on companies like the Basic Steel Company, okay? The Basic Steel Company has nothing that makes it better, and you're better off just putting, steel on basic tools. But because you get steel with the Duro y Compania, who cares, right? and you get refined steel with it. Sure, that's a nice little bonus on top of things. It's not what you're aiming for with the Duro y Compania. The profit margin is what you're aiming for with the Duro y Compania, but it's nice to have, and it definitely does help. Alright, here we go. We're going to be talking about the rather uninspiring prosperity bonuses that the Duro y Compania gets. I don't like them. I'm not a big fan of the arms industry. I'm not a big fan of the artillery foundry industries. I find those buildings to be particularly bad, and I'm not too concerned about, you know, underbuilding or overbuilding them. I'm not concerned about throughput with them. Maybe you would be in a rare position where you would actually need the throughput bonuses, but this is just a meh. This is just a gigantic meh that doesn't mean anything to me. You're not going to make a huge amount of profit off of arms. You're not going to make a huge amount of profit off of artillery. Unfortunately, there just isn't that much demand around the world for it. It is just meh. And I have no idea what else to call this except for meh. It's not even bad. It doesn't hurt you, thankfully. But it's so meh that why would you even care about it? Nope, you'll probably want to get 100 prosperity to get refined steel, and the prosperity bonuses are just there. They don't matter to you, they don't help, they're just there. Alright, here comes a particularly interesting aspect of the Duro y Compania, and that is its synergies and its overlaps. Now, you're probably going to notice here that I have the basic tools as one of the main synergies, and this is actually the reason why I like the Duro y Compania so much. I think the Duro y Compania is the perfect company to pair up with the basic tools. You just don't have to add the steel company to the basic tools with 100 authority. At the same time, you'll probably notice that forestry is missing from the overlap, and that is again because you do not have to add logging camps to the Duro y Compania. The Duro y Compania will still be very profitable. It will still be very good, especially thanks to the refined steel on top of all of the important construction goods that you got going on here that you're going to literally be keeping low the entire game. You can get basic forestry to go along with this. You can. However, there are other aspects to the synergy with the Duro y Compania, and this is something that people have to think about here, is the basic mineral company will be on overlap, and because it's an overlap, you're going to have no access to sulfur except through basic munitions, which is actually a better company than people give it credit for. Not only do you get access to a prestige munition explosive good, but at the same time, you can add sulfur to this company on top of the explosive company that goes along with the basic munitions. It is a nice company to have. It's only two buildings that are really useful. The munition portion of it is meh, but explosives, which is part of the construction cycle, you kind of want it. People should probably be thinking more about basic munitions, especially if you're saving a company by taking Duro y Compania. Again, you're getting Duro y Compania anyways. You're pretty much covering everything at this point, so why not? You're probably also going to be taking the basic home goods anyways, regardless of what you're taking. The reason why is because it has glass within its cycle, and that helps with construction goods. But again, if you are going for the basic home goods, you don't have to take the mineral company, you don't have to take the basic metal mining company to get your lead. You can just get your lead through the basic home goods at that point, especially if you've already added the logging camps to Duro y Compania and you don't need the basic forestry for your wood. Again, you're covering the wood, you're covering the lead, you're covering everything at that point. The detriment, obviously, is the fact that you're not going to be able to take the basic mineral company. That is a particularly good company, which is almost on par with the Duro y Compania. The only thing about the basic mineral company is it doesn't have a prestige good. This one does. Although the basic mineral company probably has better prosperity bonus, so it's really up to you to decide which one you like better. I do think they're both exceptional. The basic metal mining company, I'm not a big fan of anymore. You'll probably find out from my other videos, but it's still an overlap, so I definitely put that in there so you know. Okay, moving on to the final part of our lovely video, we're going to be talking about the fact that the Duro y Compania is probably one of the easiest companies in the game to make money with. I think in every one of my games ever, the Duro y Compania has always ended up being my #1 company. Generally around 5 million to 10 million if I'm actually putting some effort in. Even if I'm not putting in any effort in, you're going to wind up at around 3 million just from the construction cycle alone. It is bonkers how good this company can make you money. And that's kind of what you want a company to do in the first place, right? You want it to make you money, so you got money in the reinvestment pool. That's what the whole point of a company is. I mean, the bonuses are nice, but here's the thing. it makes money! And I like money. However, that's not the only aspect to the Duro y Compania. Now, again, another company that makes you a lot of money is the Basic Mineral Company, right? And unfortunately, because you're taking the Duro y Compania, you cannot take the Basic Mineral Company because of the major amount of overlap. But in response for it, you get a prestige good, which I do think is actually worth your time. I know people are going to argue that it is an absolute garbage one because it does kind of increase the cost of your construction cycle without really giving a major tangible benefit. But people are ignoring the fact that it also gives you a throughput bonus on automobiles and motors, which is gargantuan. Absolutely huge. The more automobile throughput you get, the better, because then you don't need as much rubber to maintain a huge amount of production for your automobiles, because rubber, as we all know, is extremely scarce in this game, to the point where it's actually bonkers. The downside to the Duro y Compania, obviously, is the prosperity bonus. I'm not a fan of it, but you're not taking this company for the prosperity bonuses, and if you are, you might be a little crazy. Just saying. But, yeah, as far as I know, as far as I think, I am a very, very, very big fan of this company. Such a big fan that I'm actually going to give it S's across the board. In the early game, you should probably be taking it in place of taking the Basic Mineral Company. That would be either your second company if you go tools first and you're not taking food, or your third company if you're taking tools and food first. For the mid game, generally that would be like the fourth or fifth pick, or even the third pick, depending on how slow you are. But I mean, if you're taking the Duro y Compania, you're probably a major power or a great power, so fourth pick would probably be the mid game for you. But again, you could take it as a fourth pick. It's still going to make you money. Again, late game, you're still going to want to take it if you haven't already taken it, because it actually helps cover all of your wonderful, wonderful construction cycle goods, and it is going to make you money. So, because it makes you money and you're not relying on the bonus and the timing of the bonus, or the timing of the prestige good, because again, it's a nice good to have, but it's not something you're going to go out of your way for. It's just a nice bonus for the Duro. That's it. So, because it's just a nice bonus, you don't care if you get it late game. You could literally take this company as your last pick and you still will not be disappointed. And because I consider it to be a good pick, better than the Mineral Company, I do think this is better than the Mineral Company. That's the main one that you're going to be comparing this one to, is the Basic Mineral Company. You could compare it to the Basic Metal Mining Company, but the Mineral Company is just better. I'm telling you this now. But again, it's still better than the Mineral Company. I know you lose sulfur, but you can make up for it with the munitions. I think this is an S tier across the board. Every which way, I love the Duro y Compania company, and it's not a triple S tier at the end, but it is such a good one that you're going to want it. Anyhow, guys, that's going to be it for this video. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe if you can, and thank you very much.